Welcome back to the Independent Republic of Mike Graham right here on Talk TV. Laura Dodsworth is here with us, author and writer, of course. Another book on the way. Kanye West, a name that conjures up horror for an awful lot of people whenever you mention it, because you don't know what he's going to do or say next. What's he done this time, Laura?
Well, he's caught in controversy again, so let him have it. In Paris, he has worn a sweatshirt which said "White Lives Matter" on it, and you can imagine the sort of outrage that's provoked in some. I
mean, what
quarters.
A shocking statement that is.
Well, you know, some people have said this is actually hate speech. It's a hate statement. It's been called disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible, which it's just incredible, isn't it? I think you know, you might as well say the right slogans matter rather than Black Lives Matter or White Lives Matter. Again, this is a little bit like the Oxford University story.
Yes.
Some things are acceptable speech, some things are not acceptable speech, and I think people find this particularly outrageous from Kanye West. I think we're supposed to be calling him, is it Ye now?
I don't know.
Changed.
Yay?
I don't know. Yay, Ye. Well, let's just call him Kanye West for now, but that's not his new name, apparently. But I think people are particularly outraged because he is black. And, you know, there's this idea that black people aren't supposed to ally themselves with right-wing politics, which he does, or do anything except beat a certain ideological drum about race matters. But I think, of course, he should be free to express his opinions. It really shouldn't be that controversial to say white lives matter.
No, it really shouldn't, because it isn't controversial. But you might remember, this was probably a couple of years ago, that the guy who flew a plane over a football ground and was towing behind the plane that exact statement, white lives matter. And I think he was arrested as a result.
Was he? That's just ridiculous. I mean, that just shouldn't be allowed.
It was right at the height of the summer of the sort of Black Lives Matter marches and riots and all that sort of thing.
Well, it was a very, very febrile atmosphere. But as we said the other week, you know, look at the case of, say, Mahsa Amini, who was killed by the police in Iran for not wearing a headscarf.
Yeah.
That has actually generated some protests and outrage, but nothing like the killing of George Floyd. You know, what the public imagination, the collective unconscious will click onto is quite variable. Kanye West, of course, has outraged people before by describing 400 years of slavery as a choice. You know, he tried to row back and explain he didn't quite mean how that sounded.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can see some quite complex thinking in his ideas about race. But, you know, this is a little bit like our own homegrown story recently, where Kwasi Kwarteng was described as only superficially black because he went to a private school.
Yes.
And you know, he has a posh accent. He doesn't say bruv in it. And there's this idea that black people aren't supposed to transcend certain class barriers, and if they do, then they're not really black enough. And I think that's actually a really racist
totally.
And despicable way of thinking.
It's very much the thoughts of the left of politics, isn't it? Because it was Rupa Huq who said that. She's been suspended by the Labour Party pending an investigation. I don't know what they're supposed to be investigating. She was recorded saying it. She said it, and the recording is available to be seen and heard by anybody who wants to hear it. So what are they investigating exactly? Why haven't they just kicked her out of the Labour Party?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm really not a big fan of people losing their jobs for expressing their opinions, but what she said is truly, deeply objectionable. The problem is it's just a reflection of very deep-seated culture. So I think she probably should have been suspended because it was such an objectionable thing to say.
Yeah, but the Labour Party, the reason I'm not a fan of losing people. She's not going to lose her job. She will always be an MP because you can't be sacked as an MP unless you've committed some kind of heinous crime. But basically, she should not be in the Labour Party because of the way that they are in terms of what they profess to be. You know, they profess to be a party that's all about equality. They profess to be a party that is not about racism. They say they've kicked anti-Semitism out, but here they are still keeping somebody in the party who has said that.